Hi, welcome to Leap Taken. This is Nika, and here at Leap Taken, I talk about all things witchy, craft related, law of attraction, manifesting, esoteric, and everything else in between. So, today, I want to talk a little bit about anger and where it fits in your practicing magic and your spell work and so forth. So, the thing about anger, a lot of people are scared. The light and love practicing witches are scared, or what we used to call the fluffy bunnies. they're very scared, and I find the light and love type of witches, and you guys know what I'm talking about. I'm not going to go into the whole thing. You know what I mean when I say light and love. I find that a lot of them are really afraid of probably even doing shadow work or recognizing there's a duality, which is light and dark. There's no such thing as just light magic or dark magic. It doesn't work that way. And the best way to sum that up is so if I'm a light and love kind of witch, right? And I'm doing light work. So part of that light work is to make sure that, I am able to pay my bills and but no harm to anyone. I don't want any harm to come to anybody. But I want to be able to take care of my bills because I'm getting behind, and I'm doing spells for overall abundance and prosperity and things like that. I don't know why I'm making my voice like this, being so condescending, but follow along with the example. On the surface, that seems like, what are you talking about? Where's the dark magic in that? Or the dark energy in that? The thing about it is, okay, so for every promotion that you got, maybe somebody else didn't get it. When money was directed to you, if you won a lottery, that means somebody else didn't win. Um, it's not that people are harmed, but maybe somebody else needed it too. I'm not telling you not to do anything because I do prosperity, money spells, and all that sort of stuff. If I'm looking for employment or I'm helping somebody else looking for a job or looking for love, that means maybe somebody else missed out on an opportunity. I love so they say, no, it was only meant for me. It, that opportunity, that job, the man, the guy, the girl, whatever, they were meant for me. They weren't meant for anybody else. BS, not true. That's what you want to say to frame it and make it okay. But the reality of it is there's duality in everything. So if you got something, then that resource didn't go into another direction. That's all. Now there's enough for us to go around. We understand that. But at that time, that particular resource, you directed it to come into to you, and it didn't go someplace else. Just that's it. So anyway, that's how I see it. That's why I don't like the idea of light magic, dark magic. Someone asked me that before about being light worker. That's what it is. I'm not even familiar with these terms because I don't think like that. I'm okay with just witch. Just call me a witch. I don't care. It's not offensive to me. I'm good with that. But anyway, so where does anger fit in? So, we talked about just the kind of general stuff. Where does anger come in? Anger comes into play is because sometimes you need anger to fuel a spell, depending on the type of spell or the working that you're doing. Um, Best example is, I'm going to go ahead and just give a story. Um, I recall being really upset. I was a victim of a home invasion. I don't know if I mentioned that in a video here before, but it was a victim of a home invade. I was a victim of a home invasion. I was home alone, working from home at the time. We were living in Georgia, in Atlanta area at that time. So anyway, long story short, guys come in. It was young men, and they kicked in my door. I was upstairs in my office. I hid. They didn't know I was in the house. Next thing I know, I hear them ransacking my place and stealing my work laptop that I was just in a meeting on. And of course, I'm on 911 with 911. The police are coming. So the police come. This is a crazy story. So I'm freaking out, you know, not knowing if they know I'm in the house. My purse was on the table. My car was in the garage. So there's it's up in the air on whether they knew I was in there. Actually, it matters legally. It mattered legally. But anyway, so I go and I'm hiding, and the emergency operator, stayed on the line with me, let me know they were coming, and that they're like at blow by blow details. Okay, they're coming. Okay, they're in the complex now. It was a beautiful subdivision I lived in, by the way. Beautiful, big old homes. Loved it. I love that house. I love that layout of that house. They ruined that experience for me because it was hard for me to really feel comfortable there again. But anyway, um, so the police come into they were in a complex. So the guys left. It was three young men. They left, and for the first, this is the first time I did this, and it was just a range of emotions. But the last emotion that fueled the spell that I'm about to tell you I did was just raw anger. So I laugh. It's not funny. Don't. I have a thing where sometimes I laugh at inappropriate times. Um, and I don't know what my deal is with that, but anyway, so I said, I remember coming downstairs because the operator assured me the police were now in the house. There was an officer downstairs waiting for me. And when I came down, I'm like shaking. I'm freaked out. You know, I have my cell phone. I have the house phone. So I got everything that I ran and ran into to the bathroom. So I finally hang up with, they told me you can hang up. And I'm telling the operators how messed up I was. I'm looking at the police. Could you let him know that it's me? I'm the owner of the home. Anyway, so the police officer is like, it's okay, asked me to sit down, and they're apprehending them. They're on the, they're getting them. And he went outside. And in that moment, it's like, okay, a energy came over me, and I went from fearful to just pissed off, raw anger. I wanted to hurt these people. I did not like being put into this position. I had been working at my job for a short period of time. It was a very good job, and I was working remotely, and I was enjoying it, and I did not appreciate this interruption and all that it brought. So that's where I was thinking, and I didn't like feeling weak like that, victimized. And I saw that they had ripped. They had not ripped. That's for later. They had taken my bag, and it was the handbag my husband. It was a designer bag, and my husband purchased it for me. It was a big deal that he purchased that for me. It was even before we even got married. So anyway, I was pissed. So I said, initially, I didn't even think about, oh, you're a witch and all this. I didn't think about anything. I just remember saying something like, bring it back. I said, bring it back 3 times. Bring my things back. Bring my things back. And by that third time I said it, I was just thinking, by any means necessary. I don't care what happens. I'm speaking the words, but my intentions are very, for lack of better words, dark, right? I just really unleashed anger and frustration and just pissed off. And I wanted them to hurt, and I wanted my stuff back. I am not exaggerating. I'm not doing this just for the purpose of the video or sound more witchy or anything like that. I promise you, that police officer came in, and came in with another police officer. It had only been a few more minutes, and they let me know that the police officer, there was a team, an undercover team in my area because there had been so many break-ins. And they were saying they thought it was gang related. This is what the police is telling me. I don't know this. And they were coming over from the College Park area, to where my area I was in. Long story short, he says to me, well, there has been, an accident. During the chase, the police officers were chasing them in a high-speed chase, literally just up the road. So think of the time that I've now, come downstairs and they've fled. It's a short window of time. So when I said those words, that happened. What happened is the young men ran into a pole. And the car pretty much wrapped around a pole. One of them died. One of them was severely injured, and one I think was okay, but injured still. They were all, he was injured, but one of them died. And my stuff did come back with blood on it. My designer purse, because of the accident. I'm like, what? The accident was so crazy. The bag ripped. I'm like, what happened? I don't even understand. I have a video with the handle ripped off. I think at some point, I don't know what happened. I don't know. But anyway, it was ripped, and there was blood all over my laptop because they were holding it and they bled on it. So I got my things back, and all of the intentions that I put into everything that I said, it worked like that. So anger does work. Um, Use it wisely. Use it when to fuel your spells when you need to. And this is just, I'm a woman of a certain age, and I'm just giving you the details of how this stuff works. Um, Light and love is bullshit. Trying to practice this witchcraft thing, that's bull. Like, cut it. Stop. No. You can live peacefully. I'm not telling you to wish death on people. I'm not saying that that's the way witchcraft works, but in just as life, there's, you're born and then you die. And, some people get sick and some people lose limb. And there's so many complexities. This idea that things are always just one way, including in your witchcraft. Your emotions are not just one way, so it's going to influence the type of magic that you yield. And I think that, and with so much popularity that witchcraft is receiving, I think we need more people like myself who are willing to just, calmly, without a lot of emotion, just give you the information and tell you what's really going on and what's really worked without all the props and all the BS nonsense and all this stuff on, which God and this God. Oh, well, if you use this God, that, we're not getting into the deity thing and all that. That's not what this is about. This was me at the time who didn't even worship, well, I don't worship now, but didn't have any sort of reverence for, at that point, ancestor reverence. I didn't do any sort of ancestor work. I didn't do any sort of deity work. And all I was working on was just traditional type witchcraft for me. I was coming off of Wicca at that stage. Yeah, I was, if you asked me, I would still have just said I was Wiccan, but I was already kind of feeling, branching off, like, okay, I want to do something that, I'd see things differently. The structure, the way this is, it doesn't quite fit for me. So anyway, but you could have said I was Wiccan if I would have told you, yeah, I'm Wiccan, if you'd asked me at that time. Um, I was a godless witch, ancestorless witch. And I had ancestors, I just wasn't communicating with them. They were looking out for me, but I was oblivious at the time. Um, but it let me know in that moment the amount of power one has when you fuel your spells with certain types of emotions. Now, this can work in the opposite direction. If it's love, strong, or hurt. Now, I don't want to say hurt, love. Strong feelings of love. Your kids, this is especially for us parents, if you're doing workings for your kids to clear a path or clear a way. Now, you got to remember, when you're doing spells for other people, their intentions can counteract what you're doing. So they need to be on one accord with you, assuming they are. That's why it doesn't always work when you do things for or against another person. That's by the way, if it doesn't work, that's probably why. It's their will. But anyway, um, when you're using magic and you're using love and you're influencing it, motherly love, for instance, to fuel your magic and things like that, you can have an instantaneous type effect as well, because that's powerful. That's powerful stuff. Same thing when you're doing something for somebody you're romantically involved in. Women, we tend to, do that, for your husband or your boyfriend, fiance, whatever, girlfriend. um, if you put all that emotion, all that love and lust and all the other stuff, sexual attraction, all of that and that energy, and you just really let it rise up to the surface and just push that into your intention, you will get some powerful magic. So emotions matter. And notice I didn't just say love and lust, because if you're in a romantic relationship, hopefully there is some lust involved. Again, these emotions, these traits and things like that, just because they don't fit into what's in the Wicca 101 books or the witchcraft, the traditional witchcraft books, doesn't mean that's real life. That's real practical magic that we're doing. We get angry, and sometimes we want retaliation. Now, in that moment, I was I looking for retaliation? Yeah, I guess I was. I wasn't thinking consciously. I was letting raw emotion and subconscious kind of take over. And in hindsight, my ancestors came through. But that was me allowing that power to build. And I did it in a way where it wasn't thinking, it was just doing. And it just felt natural, like what a witch does. If you practice this life, witchcraft, and you really do this, that's how it eventually become. And that's me some years ago. Now, yeah, automatically I'll speak a chant in my head if I feel like there's a dangerous situation or something like that. I'll say some words, and if I'm in a situation, I'm just trying to think of all kinds of like weird things that happen. Like, let's say I'm trying to think of the last thing that's happened. I think I wanted to do something. Maybe I was trying to pay for something, and I wanted it to go through. It was something. Did I have a coupon? I'm trying to think what the situation was. I know I said some words. Basically, for all intents and purposes, let's say, I got a coupon and I want to use it at the store and it expired, but I wanted to go through anyway. Um, Again, that's getting into that arena for some people of light and dark magic, right? Where there's like, oh, but if it expired, you're technically robbing the store. Um, I live your life, people. Anyway, the point is, if you were doing something like that, you said a chant and you believe it's going to work, you don't speak it out of fear. You whatever chant or whatever charm or thing you actually speak, it's more like they do on TV. They say the little words and then something happens. Yeah, you can get to that point, or you could just be thinking it. It's just going in your head, or you could use manipulation on magical manipulation on the other person. This is what people do in general, where they'll talk to somebody, they'll walk up to the cashier. Either you come in very frantic, that way they're not paying attention, or you come in very overly friendly and you're talking. Again, it's like a distraction technique. Um, and then you can get them to do whatever. Or, basically, if you're more friendly, maybe they're going to be willing to go ahead and just let it happen for you. It's manipulation tactics. The magical piece comes in because you're adding more intention behind it. I'm not saying you should go around manipulating and scamming people with expired coupons. I'm just giving you some information. I'm using examples. That's all, I swear. I don't go around scamming folks with coupons that have expired. Um, Often, not many. I usually am stay on top when I use coupons. I don't even really coupon as much as I used to, but for high value things like laundry detergent, yeah, I take my little coupon. The coupons that come in the box, the little cutouts. Anyway, emotions matter in your workings. It's okay if anger is one of those emotions. It's okay if it's desire, but maybe it's not desire in a way that might fit the social norms. And I'm not talking anything illegal or anything, that would be violating someone else. But some of us, we work a little differently. We don't move in the same circle, so our desires might not, fit everybody else's. I'm just saying. And that energy that you're on, it's okay. I give you permission. Not that you need me to tell you that, but I give you permission. Go ahead. Um, Tap into both sides. We're complex people. It's okay to tap into all the different energies and use that. And just to sort of wrap up, um, I don't wish ill, I don't wish death on people. I wouldn't, I'm not looking for that. Um, I wanted my stuff back and I wanted them to pay. Um, they, one paid with their life. I don't know whatever happened to the other one. I don't know if they healed or if they end up dying. I'm not sure. I stopped following the case. I didn't want to know. That was tough for me to deal with. I actually sought therapy afterwards because it was a lot. You know, I that was a tough situation for me getting through that. Every time my doorbell rang, it was like I had PTSD. I would freak out, and yeah, it was just a lot. And just knowing how young these people were because it made the news, you know, and the victim's family, the one that did die, um, he I remember his family like, oh, I can't believe this happened to him. He was one of the good ones, and it was the whole thing. And I kept thinking, if he was so good, why is he in a gang or with at least two other people robbing people? But anyway, here we are, years later. Unfortunately, that person, lost their life for the decision they did. I don't blame myself for them. They chose that route that day. Everything they did, they made a conscious effort to come in. And then there's always the part that plays in my head. My therapist actually helped me with this is, well, did it ever occur to you what would happen if they had realized you were in the house? And of course it occurred to me. And I'm like, yeah, we had to work through that because that occurred to me quite often. What would happen if they had found me in the house? What would they have done to me? So, I've had to work through that some years ago, and that's why I can kind of talk and really easy breezy. I know it probably sounds like I'm a little cold about it now, and it's not that. It's just I've released all of whatever I needed to release around that, so it's not on the surface for me anymore. So I could just casually, honestly have this conversation now about everything, all of it. But I only wanted to bring it up because it was a defining moment in a lot of ways for me, including practicing witchcraft, because I realized at that moment, wow, that's a lot. Like, not at that moment, after the fact. I realized it, but going to bed that night, like, as most women, as soon as it's time to go to sleep, everything that happened that day goes through your head. Of course, this all went through my head. And I was up half the night just thinking about it. And all I was thinking, like, whoa, wow, that was either that was one heck of a coincidence or I actually did that. And I would if I ever wondered, if there was a part of me that wondered, was that really just a coincidence? Years later, another situation occurred where I tapped into that place again, that energy, and someone else was, it was a physical situation. They were hurt. So yeah, I realize that it's a thing. It can happen, and I do believe it has a lot to do with my sun sign. I'm in Aries, Scorpio rising, and my moon is Cancer. If you know anything about any of those signs, Aries, we're going in a fight. Cancer, they don't get over ish when you when you do something to them. And Scorpio, by and large, are going to get you back. And that's just that energy. And that's always there. And I try to keep it balanced and not be petty and vengeful on everything. Um, I try. I try. But anyway, I just want to let you know, give yourself the space and recognize there's multiple layers to this whole witchcraft thing. It's not just light and love all the time. All right, thank you for watching. Again, this is Mika with Leap Taken. Please go ahead and like the video if you've enjoyed this content. And if you haven't, don't worry about it. And go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. I'd really appreciate it. And if you've subscribed already, I thank you as well. All right, bye.